Encounters of the Third Kind is just one of the countless films that imagines mankind's first contact with an alien civilization. Now, a Harvard astronomer thinks it's actually happened. In his new book, Extraterrestrial, the first sign of intelligent life beyond Earth, Avi Loeb says we may have had a brush with an alien civilization less than 4 years ago.
I was not a fan of science fiction because the storyline often violates the laws of physics.
Really?
I never liked Star Trek, for example.
So, no Star Trek, no E.T.? No.
I just follow the evidence, you see, like Sherlock Holmes, like a detective.
In this talk, I would like to venture...
Professor Avi Loeb is a respected astrophysicist, former chair of Harvard's astronomy department, and a published author.
This boils down to the fundamental question: are we alone?
So when he delivered his hypothesis in 2018, now a best-selling book, Extraterrestrial, some eyebrows were raised.
Do you believe we have been, how should I say this, had a close encounter of some kind?
Yeah, well, there was this object discovered in 2017.
On October 19th of that year, Hawaii's powerful Pan-STARRS telescope spotted a mysterious object whizzing by. It was traveling so fast at nearly 200,000 miles an hour, astronomers concluded it must have originated from outside our solar system, the first such interstellar traveler ever detected. It was given the name Oumuamua, the Hawaiian word for scout. About the size of a football field, most scientists believed it was just an oddly shaped asteroid or comet, but not Loeb.
There is some evidence that looks unexplainable, except the most plausible solution seems to me that it's artificially made.
I spoke with him at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in the school's 174-year-old observatory.
At first, astronomers thought, oh, it's just a rock. It's just a comet. Yeah, but there was no cometary tail around it, no gas coming off it. And so it was not a comet, for sure.
Then there was the shape of the object. It's been rendered in illustrations as long and narrow, like a cigar. But Loeb and a few other scientists say it was actually flat, possibly less than a millimeter thick, and highly reflective, much like a light sail. And it actually sped up and changed its expected trajectory as it slingshotted around the sun.
It was because of reflection of sunlight. Just like when you have a sail on a boat and it reflects the wind, it gets pushed. It turns out that in September 2020, there was another object that exhibited an extra push away from the sun and didn't have a cometary tail. Turns out it was a rocket booster from 1966 that was launched, and we can tell that it's hollow and thin because we produced it. The question is, who produced Oumuamua, this object from 2017?
So you see this as intelligent life?
Yes.
You feel as though Oumuamua is a relic of some past technological advance from some past civilization.
Right. And it may be space trash, you know, it may be something that is not functional anymore. We sent out Voyager 1, Voyager 2, New Horizons. These are probes that were operational when we communicated with them, but
they're gone.
A billion years from now, they will be junk. They will be just equipment floating in space.
You spend a lot of time up here?
Every now and then.
Of course, life wasn't always about trying to prove the existence of alien life for this professor. Loeb grew up on a small family farm in Israel, about 15 miles south of Tel Aviv. And unlike many other children of the 60s, he didn't dream of becoming an astronaut. He had no interest in astronomy or science fiction.
No. I was interested in philosophy, the most fundamental questions. I grew up on a farm, collected eggs every afternoon, and used to drive a tractor to the hills and read philosophy books. But that offered me an advantage because I look at everything that astronomers do as an outsider, from outside, with a big picture in mind.
That outsider's point of view helps Loeb deal with the mostly negative reactions he's getting from his own colleagues in science and academia.
What is the scientific community's reaction?
Well, there is a lot of pushback.
Oumuamua seems to have been nothing more than a shard of rock.
One of those colleagues is Time magazine's science editor-at-large, Jeffrey Kluger.
Among all of the possible solutions or explanations for the fact that this rock is accelerating, the least likely of them all is that there's a natural intelligence aboard that's doing the driving.
But Loeb isn't concerning himself too much with his naysayers.
The point is, I follow what basketball coaches tell their team members. Keep your eyes on the ball, not on the audience. So I don't care how many likes I have on Twitter. I follow what nature tells us. The public wants to know, are we alone? I get enormous, extraordinary attention to the book. And I say, if the public is interested and the public funds science, isn't it the obligation of scientists to discuss this topic and research it?
Oumuamua has long left our solar system, but Loeb believes more objects like it will eventually be discovered. For now, his search for alien life in the cosmos continues.
You, I presume, if you're patient enough, plan to be proven right.
Oh yeah, it all depends whether we keep our eyes open and search for these things. Because if you are not willing to search, you will never find wonderful things.
And aside from his contention that this brief visitor to our solar system was of alien origin,
here's the big question. Do you believe in UFOs?
Well, frankly, I don't think we deserve the attention of alien civilizations. We are not particularly intelligent. If you read the news every day, we are doing terrible things.
So your answer is no?
Probably not. My wife says if a spaceship ever lands in our backyard and calls me in, I should make sure that I do two things. One, leave the car keys with her.
You're not coming back.
And two, make sure that they don't ruin the loan when they lift off.
So she's okay with them taking you. Just don't leave a mark.
That's for you to interpret.
He was so much fun to talk to.
Delightful.
Yeah, this notion of just how vast space is, and then how old it is, and that this could be a relic from some past civilization, it just kind of just blew my mind and opened me up to so much more. And essentially, he's like,
would Mark be okay if you just took off on Oumuamua?
We wouldn't be okay.